Wow, what a night. The countdown imagery was a little fouled up. Showed the full thumbnail there at first and then faded things in except for uh my representation, my AI representation. Oh boy, I don't know. That may have been my fault, but we have Mike Gorley in the chat tonight. Supposed to be a co-host, but he'd come in, he wouldn't see us, we wouldn't see him, and I don't know. He's gonna hopefully try again later, doing the link after a restart of the computer or something. We'll see if that works. I No guarantees on anything, but anyway, we do have our guest tonight. We are going to be featuring Kevin M. Hart, who is a sar. For God's sake, why? Why? Last week I was calling him Kevin M. Hart, even though it's Kevin M. Kraft. And then I looked up when I did that, it's like, why is that in my head? And I looked up and apparently there is an actor named Kevin Hart, but I don't recognize him. It's like, what the hell? I don't know. But anyway, Kevin M. Kraft is with us tonight. And he's a cigar box guitar player, as well as a crafter. He builds them and plays them. And he is an author who is inspired by his Christian faith. He authored the series Dobro the Bottlenecker. As we'll see, that relates to his musical interests as well. And he also has another one out that he'll be telling us about called uh, Riverhorse. And so, yeah, it's an evening of creativity all around. Sorry for all the glitching. I might as well bring my wife Liza on board here. And if I can play the right intro, there we go. Okay, there you are.
Hello.
No.
Yes.
Hold on. I don't see you on stage. There we No.
I was up before. There
How
I
come
am.
you're Saul?
I don't
Hold
know.
on here. Let me
I
join
didn't
this.
do it. Oh,
There we go.
there we go.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
It's Murphy's Law tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and now no intro video, and no, I'm not going to play a Monty Python clip for this gentleman. I've already ruined tonight enough, so let's have Kevin M. Kraft.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
Hey. Oh,
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for being with us and putting up with it so far.
yes.
Some people might have stormed off by now.
Yes.
Well,
Like, how dare you?
let's hope not.
Well, Scott in the chat is loving it, so that's great. So anyway, yes, we got in touch with you through Liza,
Yeah,
who found you as a CBG crafter and player
indeed.
and discovered that you're an author as well. And so I think what we'll do is switch to a mode where we feature you.
Okay.
Let's see here. If I can click the right thing, which is never guaranteed.
Wrong thing. There we go.
There we go.
You're front and center.
Yeah.
Awesome. You look good, sir. You look good, and I love the background.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And we do see Mike Gorley's avatar there on screen. Hopefully, give it a try, Mike. Try the link again, see if it works out, you know.
Oh, Scott's laughing at us, man.
Yes. Well, he should.
He's laughing at you, Lawrence, not at Kevin.
Yeah.
Not Kevin's fault.
Well, I'm not responsible for the mic mishap. All right, so let's get on to Kevin. Kevin, so I think we're going to go back in time and find out whether you discovered an interest in CBGs first, or your interest in writing first, or you could say it any way you want.
Okay.
I don't think our regulars like Scott and Melanie know of you yet. And
Mhm.
so, what would you like to say to some people that are meeting you for the first time?
Well, not a whole lot, but I started writing probably before anything else. I started writing fiction when I was like, what, 9, 10 years old, and I was wowing my my grade school teachers and students alike with the stories. I just had a very vivid imagination. So I started writing very, very, very early on. Music was always a part of my life. As far as I love to listen to music. I sang in church at a really young age with my sisters and my twin brother, and so I was always interested in music. Picked up the guitar about 13 years old. Took a couple of lessons from
Hmm.
a guy in town, and so I realized I'm not learning what I want to learn. So I stopped the
Mm.
lessons and I just taught myself basically what I needed to learn. Chords and everything else like
Nice.
that. So the CBGs come in much much later in my life. As a matter of fact, slide guitar came in later. I'd always heard it in music, but I never knew how to get the slide sound. I thought, oh, maybe they have the strings really really close to the fret, and then it just comes up that smooth slide sound, and so I tried that, and that didn't work, and I just couldn't figure it out for years and years and years until I was in my 20s, and one day I came home from work, and I put on VH1.
Mm.
If you remember that channel,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I saw Bonnie Raitt
Uh-huh.
doing a road tested concert, and she was playing slide guitar, and I said, that's it.
That's
That's what
it.
I've been missing is the visual. How do you do that? And she did it, and I remember kneeling, really kneeling in front of the TV, just watching, like, yes, that's what I want. And I immediately went out and bought a slide, a metal slide from the music store, and underwent the painful process of learning slide guitar.
Mm.
If you ever heard anybody learn how to play slide guitar, you know how painful that can be. And I'm one that has a pretty good sense of pitch. And so it was painful for me doing it, because it's like, oh, that's not the right note. You have to be precise. Even as you're sliding, you got to hit the notes that you're aiming for precisely as you're sliding around. But I finally learned. I got pretty good at it. I cut my teeth on Bonnie Raitt, of course,
Hmm.
Nice.
Joe Walsh and Dwayne Allman was.
Oh.
I always start out doing the most difficult things that I could possibly find. So
Wow.
I learned how to play Joe Walsh, or not Joe Walsh, Dwayne Allman's licks from the Statesboro Blues, and which is incredible. I still work up a sweat when I play that, because it's just so like an aggressive, quick slide guitar. But I learned how to do all that, and then from there I went into the Delta blues,
Uh-huh.
and so I learned how to play that, and I got really really quite good at it. Tried to
Good.
introduce it to the church that I was in, because I was a worship leader, and it's like I was always an anarchist. I was always trying to
All right.
Awesome.
people wouldn't expect. And so I did it well, but they were kind of like, which was kind of odd, because it's a black church, and
Hmm.
anybody that knows anything about slide guitar and blues and everything like that knows that's very that's a strong foundation in black music. And
Mhm.
so I thought they would appreciate it. They
Right.
didn't.
Oh, wow.
But I said, okay, I tried it, and they didn't appreciate it. But I kept up with it, and I
Hmm.
and I knew immediately. I thought, that's just something I really like to do. The slide guitar, the cigar box guitar comes in even later than that. I was dissatisfied with the sound that I was getting with the guitars that I had, acoustic and electric, and I thought, I'm just not getting the sound that I want. How do I do that? So I started looking at, changing out the bridges, changing out the nuts, changing
Wow.
the strings, changing the action of my guitar, and nothing was working. And I thought, well, maybe I need to build my own guitar. I was like, well, what would that take? So I started looking up guitar luthiers and what it would take to build a guitar, which is out of my price range. And I didn't know any luthiers, but I saw as I was scrolling down through doing my research, I see something called a cigar box guitar, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, that sounds cute. you know,
Yeah.
I thought I immediately went back to my childhood when my brother and I used to make guitars out of shoe boxes and rubber bands. You know,
Nice.
and I thought, oh, maybe it's something. And then so I looked a little further and looked at some guitars and some schematics. I was like, this is huh. I said, well, it could be an interesting project. I said, I thought, well, I'll try it and see what happens. At the very least, it'll be something fun. And I said jokingly then, who knows, maybe I'll find my sound I'm looking for with building one of these
Ooh.
guitars.
Wow.
I went out and looked for a cigar box first, couldn't find one in the immediate area that I was in, except for little dinky ones that smaller than a Kleenex box. And
Wow.
I went to a store called Mom's Old Stuff, which sold odds and ends and antique
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, and they didn't have anything there. But next to the cigar boxes that I did find, there was this big silverware box. I don't have it here now, but it's a big silverware box. I thought that's what I'm talking about. That'll get some sound. So I took that. It was an antique, but it only cost like $1.98. So I said, okay, I'll take
Mm-hmm.
that. Bought that, took it home, and I started assembling the pieces that I needed for the cigar box guitar. I told my wife first, I said, I think I'm gonna build a cigar box guitar. And she said, oh, that's nice. Didn't think of it. And I said, okay. So I went down to my basement, which became a secret laboratory where I started working on my creature.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it together, and when I got it together, I played it once, and I was like, bang! I was like,
Uh,
so,
that's a lie.
I didn't even tell anybody that it was done. I just came out of the workshop and came in here into the family room, and I got my slide out. And I just started playing, and after about a minute, I hear footsteps coming from upstairs, and all the kids come downstairs, and they're like wide-eyed, like, "What is that? We want one."
Of course
Oh
they
yeah.
did. You had to build them all one.
Yeah, and some of my two kids. I had two kids at the time, and I helped them build one. But that was the beginning of my cigar box guitar journey, and I haven't really gone back to the sixth string to any appreciable
Mm.
degree. I've stayed with cigar box guitars, 1, 2, and 3 stringers, 4 on rare occasions, although I don't know what to do with 4 yet.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But I just started. I just started building them, and they became as addicting to build as they were to play. I started selling them to people who wanted them, and I said,
Nice.
and I was like, well, this is like a new religion to me, and I want to spread this around. And so I went to the Kansas City Blues Society and asked, can we? Oh, I got online and I saw that there were indeed some cigar box guitar festivals, and most notably in St. Louis at the time. And I thought, oh, what a great idea, So I started talking to the guy out there that was
Mm-hmm.
organizing it and seeing what that took, and thought maybe it's worth trying something like that here. And so I contacted the Kansas City Blues Society and asked them if they would mind considering sponsoring something like that, and they said, well, come and talk to us about it. Went to one of the meetings, and they thought, yeah, it sounds like a good idea, but they never did anything about it for a year.
Hmm.
Mm.
And they tabled the whole idea. And I thought, all right, the only way this is going to get done is if I join the Blues Society and do it. And so I
Right.
joined the Blues Society at that time, and and I said, I'm winning a meeting again. It's like, I'd like to revive that idea about the Cigar Box Guitar Festival, and they let me do it, let me organize it, and we did. That was like 2000, was it 2009 or 10 for the first one, and organized the festival, and I did some gigs around town, playing the blues
Nice.
around town, and we had the festival, and it was a blowout festival. It was the biggest event of the year, I think. We had people from all over,
Wow.
not just Kansas City, but Oklahoma and Ohio, and I think maybe as far as Chicago. But
Whoa.
Wow.
it was phenomenal. It blew my mind, and afterwards. One of the guys came up to me and with tears in his eyes, saying, "Kevin, thanks for doing this. This was fantastic. And he and I remain friends even today." But that's my journey, and I've incorporated the cigar box guitar and a lot of my music that I do. When I play live, it's usually with the cigar box guitar now,
Awesome.
and it's become synonymous with me, you know. So yeah, that's where the music journey is, and now
Wow.
I'm incorporating all that into soundtracks, and and of course dobro, as
Yeah.
Carlos
Yeah.
talked about,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the short answer to your question.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering where to begin. I know I want to play something for our audience.
Hmm.
And since we're talking cigar boxes, maybe your diddley bow video.
Okay.
Um, and so I'm trying to remember how I do this. Okay. And so I think we'll start with that, even though I have them numbered in order differently.
Okay.
Since the conversation's flowing this way, I think we'll start with now I'm trying to look at the titles here. No, Kinder Eyes we're going to play later because we're going to talk about Dobro. Escape.
Okay.
This is one you
Escape.
didn't send me, but I found it because I was
Yeah.
listening to your stuff. So I think we'll do that.
Okay.
This is this is
Escape.
diddley bow, and for folks who are watching,
Right.
diddley bows can be made out of cigar boxes for the body, or it could be as simple as a can. And
Hmm.
but the thing about diddley bows is they're one string,
Right.
and so it's amazing the sound you get out of this with just one string. So let me play this for everybody. Oh, I almost did it again. There we go. Now we have the right video, I believe, with a bit of an intro on it.
We hear CBG in there too.
Hi, Kevin M. Kraft here from kevinmcraft.com, where you can go for all things Kevin M. Kraft. You're about to hear a song I composed a number of years ago during my cigar box revolution called Escape. It's performed on a one-string guitar, commonly known as a diddley bow. I remember during that revolution, I was building cigar box guitars, and I saw somebody play on a one-string instrument and did things on it that I thought were absolutely amazing. So I thought, I'll build one too. But after I built it, I thought, what could I do with it? I didn't know how to play the thing. I knew how to play 3 strings, knew how to play 6 strings. One string presents an extreme challenge. So I started thinking of licks, and those licks became an exercise, and an exercise became a song. And when I played it for my wife, she said it sounded like somebody escaping from something. Well, at the time, I was working on Dobro the Bottlenecker, the screenplay, I believe, and thought, that's it. That's something that he might compose, on the street with his diddley bow. So that became the song. It's become a concert favorite whenever I play live because people can't believe you can get such a sound out of a one-string primitive cigar box guitar. So for your listening pleasure, I hope you enjoy Escape.
Yeah, that is. Let me tell you that
Okay.
playing diddly bow is more difficult than playing a three stringer. You
Oh,
have to be like a master at rhythm, and there are no harmonies to hide.
Right. Right.
Uh,
You're right.
it yes, so for that was incredible, and it's it has a rhythm, it's a compelling piece. It must sound really, really cool with some distortion on it, I
It
bet.
does. It does. I
yeah.
did that. I did that at a church once. That did a special
Oh,
presentation for Easter.
Nice.
And I had the distortion on it and everything, and I put it in. And before just as I just started out, like halfway through the first verse, they started applauding, because
Awesome.
wow.
it sounded bad. I mean, it's like, wow, that sounds great. And I was even surprised because of the sound of the
Well,
auditorium and everything. It was like, wow, that is monster sound. So
Well, you said that at first when you tried playing in church, it didn't go over as well. And I was thinking maybe the reason why is because even though spirituals and blues have basically the same origins
Yeah.
and a lot of the same musical elements, blues has since the beginning been considered to be, although maybe deeply spiritual for the individual, is considered to be secular music.
you could be
And
right. You could be right.
so I think a lot of the folks that may normally enjoy the blues outside of church may be in church be saying, "Oh no, 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 you got to sing and
Yeah.
call and response. You're doing the blues. That's
Yeah.
not."
Yeah.
Because I remember there was that first, even Ray Charles when he was doing soul was not received well at first because a lot of it had those sacred music origins and
Right.
a lot of the church folks said, "Oh, but you just changed the lyrics and now you're singing,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. 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 You're probably right. But
But, I don't know. I mean, either way, music is music, and then in church, it's really your intentions is, I think, the most
yeah.
important thing,
Hmm.
and that's probably why, later, and, it sounds to me like this other one, where you played Escape in church, it
Hmm.
probably is later enough that people are like, "Okay, yeah, well, nowadays we're bringing pop music in and just kinda making sure we, you know,
Maybe.
adjust
Maybe.
it for the
Yeah.
right purposes," and they probably figure,
It
it's
could be.
inspired, and when you hear that, it does sound inspired, and you
Thank
wouldn't
you.
have made it if you didn't have, divinity on your side.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was a different church, so that makes a difference.
Yeah.
But I think too. Yeah. The context I think in which I did it was probably different for them too. So. Yeah, but they loved it. It was a white church too. It was odd. It's
Well,
like,
now they have the mega churches, and they're
oh,
wrapping in it.
yeah. But I thought, oh, that's odd. But yeah, no, but that really went well there, and it goes well at concerts and stuff. What I do, so that's a showstopper usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, any audience, you go onto stage with a box and a stick, and it's like there's immediate intrigue. It's like, what's gonna come out of that?
Hmm.
And then we put so much art into the box, and it's like, whoa, but it's kind of cool looking, and this and that. I would think that any audience would immediately be like, okay, and especially in your church, I thought because it is part of Black history,
Hmm.
and this was America's lost folk instrument.
Yeah.
I, it's strange that they
Well,
didn't take to it right away.
I'm thinking that it wasn't because of that. They probably understood, They know, but it's like, "Oh, but wait a minute, that's our blues. You do that at the club, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
In church,
maybe
you do this,
Mhm.
you know?"
that's
That
that's
that's
interesting. Yeah.
probably that's probably the context, and if they've heard it, that probably was the context in which they heard slide guitar was in blues or rock.
Right.
And so yeah, it's like a totally secular thing, and to introduce that to them who's they're not familiar with that in the church, that yeah, they look at it with a kind of a side eye, type thing. But,
Oh, yeah, I'm certain they're familiar with it, and, yeah, they
yeah.
probably wouldn't see it they probably see it as part of their roots and stuff, but it's like, our roots are like this and this,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. They put up a really firm barrier between the blues and
Well,
the
maybe
gospel.
then, I don't know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Mike is in the chat, Liza, and he said some things that I think you might want to flash up on screen for us.
Yes. He let me find his other chats here.
He mentioned the Dobro.
String. But still having a drone hiding,
Hmm.
you gotta be a master at pitch and rhythm
Hmm.
to get that thing to help to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can use it for like some lead parts if I'm doing like a lead guitar
Yeah.
type thing. I can
Yeah.
do that, for solo type lead. But I'm still struggling. I've got to sit down and figure out another song that I can create with the diddley bow. I haven't done that yet, so I got to do that sometime. But yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah. And oh, he has another chat there. The sitar has
Hmm.
several strings, most of which are drone or
Alone, yeah,
sympathetic strings. Really
that's true.
cool.
That's true.
The
Mhm.
you most play on one string, but all the others add harmony. And
Right.
again, that helps.
Hmm. It does.
um, Part of the reason I like building rustic cigar box guitars is that you can. I'm not a guitarist, and you can add so much character to your playing if you just allow the guitar to make noises and rattle and have weird
Mhm.
resonances. And when you put distortion to that, oh man, you could hide behind that. But
Yeah.
diddley bell, that's why I mean, I you're inspiring me to, you know, continue with
Practice.
my diddley bow training,
Cool.
Jedi training.
All right, my young Padawan.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, well, now, when did the desire to write, and I'm saying like writing novels specifically, come into it? I know it was probably fairly early on. You had the maybe the desire, but what made you actually go for it and do it?
Well, I wrote my first novel at 10.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I wish I still had it too. I don't know if
Aw.
I don't know if it was any good, but I remember I wrote. I was young and dumb, But I wrote this sci-fi novel. Took place on the moon,
Hmm?
and
Oh.
I wrote it, and then I gave it. I packaged it up and gave it to my dad to mail to a publisher, And I don't know if he ever did. That's the thing. I don't know
Huh.
if he ever did or not. He probably was realistic, like I think I'm not going anywhere. But he took it and he mailed it. I never heard back, and
Oh.
I never thought at that time to make a copy because we didn't have a copier back when I was a kid.
Oh
I just gave him my own
no.
manuscript and I never saw it again. And
How
so
sad.
that
Oh,
was my
one should
downfall.
always keep your first
I know,
work.
I know, I
Oh.
Well,
know.
I didn't keep mine. I mean, you beat me to it. I think mine was at age 11,
Hmm.
but it was fantasy. I mean, I love science fiction too, but I went the fantasy route with that, and about three different adventures. I was playing Dungeons and Dragons at the time, really
Hmm.
inspired by that, and yeah, I had one of the characters was a mini schnauzer that walked upright. So
Great.
and
Yeah, yeah, mine was a sci-fi novel about took place on the moon. I think it was probably inspired. I'm thinking, how old was I when inspired by Star Trek, obviously, and probably something from a movie that I saw about the moon.
Awesome.
Maybe from the Earth to the Moon or something. I don't know, but yeah, that was my first one. My sister read it at the time, and she liked it. It's like,
Cool.
oh, and she was an avid reader. I was like, oh wow, she liked it. It must be great. So
Oh man, what a shame that
I know,
nobody has it.
I
Man.
know, I
Oh,
know.
grr.
well, and then how did this carry over to Dobro?
Well, Dobro, let's see. I'm trying to think of next novel would be my next novel after the first one. But that's a mega novel. I don't remember how many pages. I got that somewhere. I don't remember how many pages it was, but that was a mega. About the first attempt at a novel, and I never published that because as soon as I finished writing it, like three well-known artists or authors came out with Mission to Mars books. Arthur C. Clarke, I think, came out with
Mm.
Ben Nova.
Hmm.
Somebody else, and I'm like, timing, So I just shoved it in a drawer,
It
basically.
was floating around in the
Yeah.
idea sphere. Yeah.
And I just was late, and I'm always a Johnny come lately with these things. But so anyway, so that was my next novel, and then I think the novel after that was W3 Crew that I wrote for my daughter, which was a kind of a middle grade uh, story about three kids in upstate New York who encounter unexplained phenomenon and stuff. I wrote two of those books for my daughter. And it was kind of an answer to the Harry Potter thing, because I noticed that there are a lot of books coming out, that dealt with witchcraft and wizardry, and I thought, well, what about kids just using their wits and their intelligence to solve crimes again? So,
Right.
so I wrote the W3 Crew for that. I'm going to be republishing or re-releasing those, another edition of those, probably in the next year or two, and then I got to work on the third one to complete the trilogy. But when they came out, that they were very well received. After W3 Crew, I wrote S, which is a contemporary religious fantasy, which will also be releasing, I think, later this year.
Oh wow.
Nice. Wow.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so that'll I think you'll find that very interesting. And then came Dobro. Now Dobro, that's kind of a story in itself about how that came about, because I had started watching like a lot of Japanese cinema, samurai movies and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
And among those was one called Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman.
Right.
And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool, And I watched the entire series from beginning to end. I'm like, man, I love this character. I love this whole idea. But it actually took me back to my childhood again, because Dobro actually finds his origins in an inspiration I got from a TV show called Longstreet when I was a kid. Longstreet was a blind. I think he was a detective or attorney or something. I don't remember now what he was, but I remember being impressed that he was blind and he was solving these cases and everything. Bruce Lee was actually featured as a guest star in that a few times as his mentor. So the martial arts and philosophy came into that, from that point on. So even before I saw Zatoichi, Dobro was already forming in my mind as far as what character that I might like to create. When I saw Zatoichi, I thought, man, I'd love to do an homage to the Blind Swordsman thing. And there were other movies, like there was a Blind Gunsman that was a western that I saw once. There's like a lot of visually impaired protagonists. I just gravitated toward those people, to those kind of characters.
Wow.
But I thought I wanted to write a character that was, it kind of embodied all my loves, you know. I thought, okay, he's gotta dress the way that I like. He's got to wear the wide brim.
Yeah.
know.
Awesome.
He's gotta play the Starbucks guitar. I said that's one of the
Of
first
course.
things,
It's a must.
come in. And I'll tell you this too. Dobro actually started out as a supporting character in another script called Bottleneckers.
Mm.
It was a sci-fi script that had to do with alternate universes or parallel universes.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
And Dobro was actually kind of a marshal from another parallel universe who was pursuing a fugitive who had escaped to our universe. And Drew was actually just a teenage girl that Dobro met and ended up joining him to try to catch this guy, basically, And so it was a sci-fi adventure, and the Bottleneckers never did come to fruition because I put it out there for a friend to read. She said she liked it, but she didn't quite get it. It was a little too confusing for her. And I thought, well, I can't have that. But I love writing Dobro. I love writing his character. So I thought, all right, I'm going to scrap the entire first project. I'm just going to write one about Dobro and make it a contemporary story. I got rid of the entire. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not what happened. I wrote a sequel to Bottleneckers called Long Way from Paradise, which featured Dobro exclusively. That adventure was a straight adventure film because he ends up being trapped in our universe, and then he sets off on his own adventures. So I dispensed with the entire sci-fi angle with that, and I realized, well, I gotta come up with a story about where Dobro comes from.
Right.
And so since I already scrapped the sci-fi element, I got to come up with a whole new story for his origin. So I decided that's when I wrote Dobro the Bottlenecker, the script, from which the novel is based. And so Dobro he encompasses all my loves: the guitar, the slide guitar, the look. he's a deeply spiritual man, and which of course he becomes even more so after what happens to him to turn him to what he is. But I reached inside myself and really you know thought about some of the things that I'd been through, some of the physical challenges that I've been
Mm.
through.
Mm.
I was an insomniac um, from childhood up until I was about 40 years old.
Mm.
Wow.
And
Wow.
and I'm not talking about severe insomnia. I'm talking about ridiculous insomnia. I'm not talking about 4 hours instead of 8. I'm talking about days
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no.
days
That
How?
without
that's
sleep.
life endangering.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's something that it started in childhood, and it progressively got worse as I was an adult. So by the time I got married, it was awful. So I just thinking about those times even now, that just makes me kind of like, oh gosh,
Wow.
can't believe I survived that. But and it got dark. It
Mm.
got really,
Oh, I know.
really dark.
There's sometimes I can't sleep for a night and it's really bad, or if it's 2 days, then it's really bad, and I could get, like, some
Yeah,
experiences that are not,
yeah,
normal 3D reality. So I
yeah.
understand, yeah.
Exactly. It got really, really dark, and it got to the point actually. It got so bad that I couldn't even work. I had to stop
Wow.
working. My wife had to work for both of us, and I just pretty much just existed in
Yeah, I know how.
in this state. But well, yeah, I'll say the one thing that didn't leave me, I mean, besides the Lord, the one
Mm,
thing that did, and my wife and my family, but
thank you.
the one thing that didn't leave me was my ability to write. I wrote during that time. I wrote the W3 crew, the 2 books in W3 crew, and I wrote a dumb bunch of short stories at that time. Collaborated on a novel with another person at that
Nice.
time. Never got published, but we did that, and so it was like that was writing was so natural to me that even at my lowest state when I couldn't do anything else, I could still write. And so, yeah. But I looked inside myself for to grab things inside of me that would apply to Dobro and the suffering that Dobro uh, encounters. So we had the insomnia thing. That was easy. I had a bad case of sciatica one year that had me doubled over for the better part of a year, and
Oh
then
gosh.
next.
Oh,
That was the worst pain I ever felt in my life.
Oh my
But
God.
so that and learn how to walk, and recover from
mm,
that.
Yikes.
I plugged that into Dobro, and yeah, and so Dobro is what I would be if I went through what Dobro went through. you know,
Right.
mhm.
at least that's my ideal, what I would be. And so a lot of his responses are and the way he acts. I just said, what would I do if I was to do that? And then you get Dobro, what he does in that. So that led to the first book, Dobro the Bottlenecker,
Well,
and.
I'm gonna play your trailer for it and, tell our audience that, down below in the description, there is a link. I mean, if you go to kevinmhart.com, you can
Kraft.
definitely
Kevin and Kraft.
oh, perfect. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Think craftsman.
why do I say this other guy who I don't even know? I mean, I had to look it up, and it's like, I don't even recognize this actor. So anyway, kevinmcraft.com, and there's links to be safe in the description. You can find links to the books there. You do have them on ebooks and on Amazon, as well as Audible, the audiobooks. So I did purchase the audiobooks, and I was hoping to start before this week, but this week work opportunities came up, which are kind of rare for me. So I was able to, I
Right.
had to
These
dedicate to that.
contracts. Yeah.
Yeah. But here you go, folks.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. If God is for me, who can be against me? He is my refuge and ever-present help in times of trouble.
trouble.
Oh, I love that. Super
So,
awesome.
how about you just give us a little background of Dobro so people can decide if that sounds interesting. I think they would.
Okay, try not to give too much away. Dobro is a man who's, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read the back of the book.
There you
All
go.
right.
It's already there.
This may give a little away too much, I don't know. Blind but not broken. Trying to do the right thing cost Dave Granger his family, his sight, and his health. By the grace of God, he's spirited away to South Korea to recover, and there he undergoes 7 years of grueling martial arts training, learning the ways of the Sul-So warriors. He emerges as a new man with a new name, Dobro. Upon his return to the States, Dobro makes a living as a street singer and cigar box slide guitarist. He'd be content to spend the rest of his days in peaceful anonymity, but evil people have other plans. Will his new faith, indomitable spirit, and breathtaking combat skills save him and those dearest to him?
Yes.
So, yeah,
So,
there's 3 books actually. We got the first, Dobro the Bottlenecker, Long Way from Paradise, and Bringing Down the House, and a 4th book to come out later this year, in a couple
Oh
months.
my goodness.
so
So
there are
prolific.
physical copies too.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, there are print copies.
great. So, how does it start off before the name change and going to South Korea? Who was, I mean, maybe not say too much, but we want, people to get a little bit of story. So
Yeah, it starts out with him. He's actually working for an international businessman as his driver, and he's a family man. He's got a wife and a daughter, and he's a good man. He just wants to do right by his family and make a good living. Although this is a job that he probably shouldn't have taken, as it turns out. So that's kind of where it starts with him working for this man and confirming what he's already known for a while, is that this man is not a good man that he's working for. And so he is set, actually. He was approached by the FBI to give testimony about what he's observed during his employment with Jamang Takuma. That's the villain's name. And but before he can do it, the night before he can do it, everything changes. That's all I'll say about that.
Interesting, intriguing. This, Kevin, have you ever pitched this to film studios?
well, he wrote a screenplay apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where's the
Okay.
Yep.
Do you think you'll ever push to get it into production?
I'm working on that. We were a stunt coordinator, 2 guys. With COVID, everything just fell apart, and it just never
Gosh.
we never picked it up again. I'm gonna send it out probably again shortly to some producers, because I know that people are looking for good faith-based films.
Yes. Yes.
Particularly now, and so this could be a good time to pitch it. I'm still kind of outside the genre range for most people, Christian films and faith-based films.
Right.
It's a very narrow band of genres that they tackle. But I'm thinking that maybe it's just a matter of timing, and maybe if I pitch it now, who knows?
Maybe, you never know. And I hear that a lot of Christian filmmakers are funding their own work through fundraising. And that may be something, I don't know. I don't know much about how they did it, but there's so many platforms out there. And plus, this is going to be a controversial. It'll probably spark a controversial, some controversy in the chat. But with the way that AI is going, in as far as producing films, Google has now this thing that you give it a prompt and it will produce film with dialogue, with music, with everything. Maybe there might be technology out there. I'm sure it's expensive now. It might not be too expensive later where you could just upload the book and you can tweak it and just produce it and put it out there on YouTube and earn the ad revenue and
Yeah.
who knows? I don't
Maybe,
know.
Well,
maybe, you know.
well,
What do you
our
think,
one
Lawrence?
thing, our dear friend World of Swap Shop stopped by there in the chat, and
Yes.
he has the channel Star Wars Retold, where he was inspired to basically replace the Last Jedi
Yes.
Oh,
and
I
continue
love it already. I love it already.
Awesome.
and continue the story after the Force Awakens. And he's now taking the book that he wrote, Praxium of the Pathfinders, and you can look for his audio dramas on YouTube called at Star Wars Retold. So
Okay.
those three words, you'll find the channel,
That's what you're told.
Praxium of the Pathfinders, and he's utilizing A right now to do character voices for the audio drama. So
Oh,
basically, he's doing
cool.
an audio drama version full of sound effects. It's really beautiful,
Nice.
where he was able to get sound effects for X-wings and TIE fighters, and the same sound effects, not generic sci-fi sounds, but the sounds of Star Wars.
Nice. Wow.
And AI now is able to allow him to speak the lines of dialogue and put it
Mhm.
in the voice that
Of the
he
actors,
Different
yeah.
voices. Yeah. Oh, wow.
and so you might consider doing an audio drama. Now I know you have an audio book
Mm-hmm.
for at least the first two books of the trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so maybe at some point it give people a great experience to have an audio drama of it,
I've been
where
thinking about that.
you
Yeah.
might be able to make it all yourself.
Maybe I have been
Yeah.
I have been exploring those options with the advent of AI technologies. As much as a technophobe as I am, and as much as I can as I admit my misgivings towards the prospects of AI,
Yeah,
I do see that it can be a tool, to accomplish what you otherwise can't. Uh,
Right.
or
to
if you find people that can do those voices well, I mean,
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with recording them. That's definitely a lot less
yeah,
um, financially draining than a film.
true, true, yeah.
But
And I love audio dramas. I used to listen to them late at night because I couldn't
oh
sleep.
yeah,
Listen to them on a station we had back home, and I loved audio dramas. They were great, and a lot of people listened to them. You
Not
know.
to change the subject, but what finally helped you with that severe insomnia?
Oh, I'm
yeah,
glad you mentioned that.
yeah. I
It,
wanted to go there too.
it ended up, believe it or not, being a digestive problem. It was,
Incredible.
yeah. We went to see. I'll tell you first. I saw doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists and did sleep studies. I had an army of people, that I went through that were trying to solve my problem. Although always ultimately to hear, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Kraft. They must practice this at the medical school. Sorry, Mr. Kraft. I don't know what else I can do for you.
Oh
And
my gosh.
it was almost hopeless. And then my wife was reading a book about naturopathic remedies,
Yes.
and she came across something called, what was it now? Oh, I can't remember the name of the place. But Doug Haynes was the name of the guy. He was a chiropractor, but he also dabbled in naturopathic remedies. And she said, well, maybe we can try somebody like him, And I was
Mhm.
totally dubious because he was way down in Springfield, which is a fair jaunt from Kansas City. And but I said, I got nothing to lose, but time and gas. So we went down to see him, and I'd sent some samples to him ahead of time, and then like a doctor, And so we went down, and he sat me down, and he said, "Well, Mr. Kraft, though, from what I can determine, your problem is primarily digestive. You're not digesting your food well."
Oh my
And
gosh.
so your body's having to work overtime into to do that, and it can't shut off. And
Mm.
he said, looking at your samples, I'm surprised you're getting anything out of your food. I mean, it's all showing up in it's just you're not getting anything from your from your food basically.
Oh
And
my
Wow.
gosh.
I said, well, wait a minute. If that's the case, why am I not malnutrition? Nutrition, you know? And he says, wide eyed. He said, I don't know. And I was like, I was
Hmm.
just like, oh man. And I thought immediately to the Bible story about what was it, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, where they used to eat the the food that was they the Babylonians had sacrificed to the idols or whatever it was or like that.
Mm.
They didn't eat, and yet they grew fat and healthy, and everybody was wondering, well, how are they doing that? And I thought about that, and it's like the Lord is sustaining me through all this because really should be dead. Quite
Wow.
frankly. Not just from that, but just from the whole sleep deprivation. You
Yeah,
know, you can't go so long without sleep, without
No, no.
and everything.
exactly. Yeah.
And I know I went past that point, you know. So, but that's how. But he gave me some digestive enzymes, and just some natural stuff in capsules, and say take these, and that'll, help regulate your stomach again, get it back to good, and I'm back to normal.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Within a week, I started noticing a difference, and I still have problems like right now. Going to sleep, so I do take medication for that. If I'm trying to get off of that, because my body just got so used to not sleeping,
Right.
but I can sleep, and that's the important thing. With
Yes.
help. And now I'm trying to get my body back, get it back to where it'll sleep on its own, and that's my challenge for this year. Uh, we'll try to see if I can get off that. But that's all it was. It's a digestive problem, and
Incredible.
that's fixed now. So, but that's what it was. I couldn't believe
Wow.
it.
Well, I've through not experience as extreme as yours, come to believe that the Creator has given us everything that we need to heal us
I believe that too.
Mm.
in the earth, in His creation.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, man,
So
what an
that's
So
quite a
what a
story.
beautiful story.
let's draw that parallel then. What was the issue that Dobro, before he changed his name, faced and then went to South Korea?
Okay, so
Yeah, he had an employer that
yeah,
was
he
not
had,
a
he
good
had an
person and
employer.
everything.
Basically, his employer, found out about his getting ready to testify against him or give testimony against
Uh-huh.
him, and they tried to kill him. So it's through an assassination attempt that Dobro is blinded and crippled, basically. Uh, it, his family is killed, and he alone survived that. And then the FBI, the agent in charge of the case, who had recruited Dobro, who himself is a South Korean immigrant, spirits him away. He wants to get him away as far as he can from Jamung Chakuma because, the guy has international, tentacles. And so he
Hmm.
says, "Oh, so I'll bring him to Korea. It's probably the last place he'd look for him."
Mm.
So he takes him to Korea and then puts him in a family that he knows out there, which is the Bakes, uh, you know, and
Okay. So,
so 7. It takes it takes about 7 years for him to really get back to any type of strength.
hmm.
And it's through his rehabilitation and which is when he finally gets mobility, his martial arts training, and going through his having to deal with his loss, and the physical agony of
Yeah.
getting back is what I can relate to is that learning to walk again because his body was crippled,
Hmm.
and just the agony of that alone, recovering his body. So that and the length of the time it took, and just in the depths of that, drawn close to the Lord, and the Lord
Hmm.
drawn close to him, where he gets to the point where he really can't. He relies upon that strength to get him, to get him back to any type of life, basically.
Yeah.
So that's where some of the parallels are.
I guess we'll leave the recount there. Hopefully that's enough to inspire some people to check it out. And I'll definitely be listening to it
Cool.
shortly. And then maybe we'll have you come back. We're not going now,
Okay.
but maybe we'll have you come back so we could discuss the book like we do with Swappers and Star Wars Retold
That'd be great.
to kind of follow the progress. And you do have on your YouTube channel some writing tips as well
Oh, yeah.
as
Mm-hmm.
some some sort of discussions about other authors and interviews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
About
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That when I built my website, I thought, I know some. I had started doing writing seminars, workshops at the local library here, and the response was great. I mean, I was surprised at how many people really wanted to learn writing. I did two. I did one called cre- how to eat an elephant was one. And another one was excellent creative writing made easy-ish. And then there was young writing for teens and young adults made easy-ish. And
mm,
so, but I did these workshops and was amazed by the response, and amazed that I could actually teach. I don't consider myself any type of public speaker at all. So to get in front of people and talk about something that I was really passionate about and to see their response uh, it was encouraging to me. It's like I never thought I'd be, talking in front of,
It's
people.
contagious. I mean, we can tell you're so passionate about writing and you're so
Oh,
passionate about cigar box guitars and music. We can't help but be enthusiastic.
oh, great! That's good to know. I'm
yeah.
glad because I hate I hate what I sound like to what I sound like to myself. So I hope when everybody
No,
else.
nobody ever likes their spoken voice. I hate mine. I
I hate
cannot
my
listen back to
Yeah,
my.
I hate my speaking voice and my singing voice, even though I do both things, so it's really weird. Uh, but yeah. But anyway, when I finally built my website, I thought, well, I'd like to, start first passing on some of these writing tips that people, are interested in, some of the things that I was asked that I'd never really heard, anybody ask before. So those became my writing tips online, and I also do interviews with different writers, of course. So I have a lot of friends who write, and I thought, I'd like to showcase what they're doing as well. I love promoting friends even above myself, because I like, man, if I can anything I can do, like let me know. So started interviewing people that I know, and it just kind of became its thing. I want to start probably next year. I'll probably start just kind of opening it up from just interviewing writers to interviewing creatives because I got people who are in music and art, and I want to showcase as
Yes.
well. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
You find that when you're truly a creative person, when you're open to the universe speaking through you, you do many things. It's not
Yeah,
just music, it's this, it's that, it's
yeah.
other. And there was one to it in school, but if this art um inspires something in this art and this
Right,
art, and you just got to be
exactly,
open to following creativity where it goes.
exactly. Yeah, I agree totally, totally.
Well, and for me, it's almost like even if it doesn't ever get popular, and I don't think my music will ever get popular, but the other creative pursuits I'm into, even when I'm designing thumbnails for this and everything,
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like a necessary healing
Yeah,
process
Yes.
yeah.
to deal with all those things that come up. And especially with me, I mean, I can kind of relate because I also have panic attack issues that are definitely being better managed now. But yeah, it was at the point where it was hard for me to work because I
Yeah,
would have to, because the physical symptoms were just so strong.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
Right.
understand.
But we have something here that would, I think, also be inspiring for some folks. Some more Kevin M. Kraft and wrong scene.
Look,
So we'll go to this one here and let's go. Read it called Kinder Eye.
Got his old cane there.
love that getup.
Thanks. If you walked a mile in my old shoes, lived the life I've lived and paid my dues, then you'd understand the man I am today, and look at me with kinder eyes. Knew I loved her from the very first, then I lost her long before my birth. Can you understand? I'm not the man I was. Daughter, but that. And I think there's a daughter, yeah, and she once had a mother, and I once was her father. Oh no, but that was a lifetime ago. And I think there's a daughter, oh yeah, and she once had a mother, yes she did, and I once was her father, oh, but that was a lifetime ago.
All
Wow. Oh man.
right. Yes.
I mean the vocals with the slide playing. Wow.
Thanks.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. So that is sung from the perspective of the character Dobro.
Indeed, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, that's the thing about an audio drama. You can include the songs.
yeah. Yeah, that's included, I think, on the not the first audiobook, but the second one, I think. Maybe the first one. I don't remember now. But yeah, I definitely an audiobook. It's that. But yeah, it's Dobro's song. It's the first one I wrote for him, um, and definitely what's gonna one of the standout ones on the upcoming EP. I guess it's an EP I'm gonna be doing.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So that one, Escape will be on there too. Uh, yeah. So yeah,
Whoa, have you ever considered adapting these books to be musicals?
musicals. No,
I
no,
mean,
I
we
never
saw
thought about
Jesus Christ Superstar last week. Why
that.
didn't this occur to me
Mm.
Wow.
earlier in the stream? And man, this would make a beautiful musical.
You know, I had never thought about that. Believe it or not.
Well,
Oh,
maybe because a lot of musicals have a certain almost like genre to them as far as how the musical style is.
Yeah.
it's
But
time
if you
for a
think
blues
about it,
musical.
yeah, if you think
Wow.
about it, you could really use any genre of music you want.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
oh, this is on stage.
Wow. That's an intriguing idea, Liza. I'll tell you, I never thought about that, but I'm going to be thinking about that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because
All
it actually,
right.
because I mean, I'm already, I'm into orchestration and stuff anyway.
Yes. You
And
can totally do it.
so,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it doesn't
wow.
have to be,
Right.
you
No,
know,
no,
it does,
no.
you don't need to
No.
do that genre of musical.
Wow. It would,
It wouldn't it be the first blues opera?
I think so.
No,
I
no.
think so.
Y-
No.
y-
No, you don't need to be the first for it to be good, but you know,
no, but I'm
no.
thinking with, I mean, it could be something, I don't know. You know what, Kevin? I'm not going to throw out any ideas. This is
Right. I'm going to let
you are a composer, you are a writer.
Mhm.
You can put together an incredible musical.
It's almost even a better idea than a movie, to tell you the truth. you know?
Yeah, you know what?
You know?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
all you need
Yes.
to do is like if you want it to be in video form is film a good stage performance. And you
Right,
can
right,
just
right.
hire a company that does good production work to just do it.
Scott
Yeah.
is with me on this.
Wow.
All
This
you need
is,
to worry about is really the stage performance.
yeah.
And
Right.
Of course, you could, if you got the right producer, you could actually produce a musical, a motion picture, musical motion picture.
Exactly.
right, right.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm intrigued by that. And wow, thanks, Liza.
You're welcome. I can't.
That's like
Uh,
a whole new approach I hadn't considered. But wow, that's a great idea.
well, I couldn't help but think about it because you're there singing as the character,
Hmm.
and I could imagine. I just could imagine seeing this story on stage as a musical with, and frankly, with you playing the lead. But I mean, that'll be something you consider.
I could do it. I mean, I wrote the part in the screenplay for myself.
There
You
you go.
know, so
I
Yeah.
mean, yes, and if you have the yeah,
wow. What
wow,
an
this
idea.
is yes.
Can we leave now? I'm gonna go. No.
It's time to start writing.
No.
Do you think the Blues Society can help you produce something like this? Do you have you know
Probably not. It would be. I mean, it would. I don't. You know, I'm not even sure if society's even together anymore. I'm not. I'm not a part of them right now.
oh gosh.
But you know, as far as an original idea for a, a motion picture, musical, whatever, I think some producers might be interested in something like that. It's different.
Cool.
It's totally different. I've never heard anything like this before. So this is wow. Thank you.
Well, I'm happy to have given you the idea that I'll take that credit. It's like, hey, see that wonderful musical up there that
Yeah.
that's still running for this many years. I told Kevin M. Kraft that he should write a musical.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
take that
seriously.
credit.
I'll give you that credit for sure.
Cool.
That's a great idea. Wow, I'm gonna start thinking about that.
Oh,
Wow.
that's gonna be a fun project. Oh my gosh.
Man, yeah.
Wow,
Wow.
I can already see the wheels turning.
Oh, they are. They are turning big time. They are turning big time.
Cool beans.
Okay.
So, maybe just one more thing about Dobro because definitely we don't want to say too much. People want to enjoy the read.
Mhm.
But now after the origin story and the crisis, and then overcoming the crisis now that he's become, um, you know, himself as the character.
Hmm.
What is the typical adventure he might go on? Say as much as you want to say, but what would be the typical adventure now that
Um,
we know the backstory a little bit?
a typical adventure for him would be, he's kind of an itinerant, uh, you know, traveler. He started out just wanting to kind of make a living on the streets, just playing and stuff. He's not entirely. Uh, he's homeless, but not necessarily because he has to be. He's homeless because he has to stay on the run. You know,
Hmm.
uh, because of what happens in the first book, and
Right, right.
after him. So he's itinerant. So a typical adventure might be him, your typical wandering into a town or another city, and excuse me, and also you gotta be aware because he is led by the Spirit of God.
Hmm.
He lets God kind of just he whatever adventure he finds himself in is because God wants him there.
Right.
It's usually as an avenging angel to help someone that needs help, Hulk or something like that. And
Yeah.
money from singing and stuff.
All right. Okay. So, in any case, I think what we're going to do now is play another piece of music. And I've loaded it up. So, we're going to do this. Da, 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 da. There we
Well,
go.
while you're doing that, I just like
Oh,
to give Robot a shout out because earlier in the chat she had mentioned that Kevin should make this into a musical, and I didn't see that chat, so she had the idea before I did.
All right,
We're
all
oh.
all
right.
in the same wavelength,
I
though.
guess so. That's a message then. I guess, huh?
It's a message.
All right.
Now, is there anything you wanted to say before it actually comes in,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, well, this is another Dobro song actually. Um,
okay?
it was written by me at one of the dark times I was telling you about when I was with insomnia. This was
Right.
one of one of the several songs that I wrote during that time.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think that's why it has there's something to it that people love it when they hear it. So hopefully you'll feel the same. But this is
Okay.
this is the demo of the song.
So here's "Love of the Father." It is a slideshow visual, but listen to the music.
What gets me up? What lays me down? What keeps me solid on shaky ground? What lets me give my life away? What gives life to me? Ask me and I'll tell you. Ask me, I'll say. What gives me courage when faced with pain? What brings me to my feet to run again? What takes the sting of death and dying and fills me with pain?
Hmm.
Ask me
Wow.
and I'll tell you. Listen to me. It's the love of the Father. It's the blood of His Son. It's the Word and the Spirit. It's the power of God. The love of the Father. The blood of His Son. There's no rhyme. Ask me and I'll tell you. It's the love of the Father. It's the blood of His Son. It's the Word and the Spirit. It's the power of God. The love of the Father. The blood of His Son. The Word and the Spirit. The Holy Spirit. The power of God. Love of the Father. The blood of His Son. The Word and the Spirit. The Holy Spirit. The power of God.
Uh-huh. I
Wow.
really appreciate how the vocals have that vintage sound like it's from the 60s or something.
Yes, the way it was produced. And sir, you have an incredible
Mhm.
range. Oh, and a dexterity in your voice. No one else can play the character of Dobro when you go on stage.
Thank
And
you.
Mike wants a cameo.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Okay, Mike. Keep in touch with me. Get on my mailing list at my website so I don't forget. Okay.
There we go. Wow, but incredible, sir.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you very much.
Yes, there's multiple links in the description, folks. You can follow Kevin on Facebook, Instagram, of course, the YouTube channel. So please check it out. And
Please subscribe to his YouTube channel. Yes.
one thing I was thinking about there is, someone like you that has such a gift for your musical abilities as well as writing abilities. It's like it. I guess it's a shame for those of us. And now I don't know enough about your daily life to really say this completely. It's the case with you, but definitely, ultimately, those of us that have these talents and gifts for these things, it would just be so great if we were able to focus on them
Yeah.
more and not have to spend so much time doing other work
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
to pay the bills and so forth. And I think that's why, fortunately, today there are opportunities for people to do some fundraising campaigns and everything,
Mhm.
especially if you pursue the musical, so that you know. It's such a waste if such talented people need to do something else where they're
Right.
not doing as much good, shall we say,
Yes.
as they
Yeah.
would be if they could do what their gifts actually were.
Full time. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. That's what I long for. That's what
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm striving
Yeah.
for.
yeah. And fortunately, there's opportunities today, and also it's something that audiences hopefully will come to realize more and more. It's rather than funding or patronizing the music or the art that the corporate oligarchs
Yes.
force
Mhm.
feed them.
Yeah. It
You know,
really is force
Yeah,
feeding.
it is.
It's
It
look
is.
for your musical
hitting us over the head
entertainment
with it.
or
Hmm. Yeah.
source of enjoyment in other avenues where you're actually sponsoring somebody that um, has something to say, has some powerful, uh, passions and talents, but just isn't being fed to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. You're right.
All right. So, Liza,
Yes.
I do have some things I want to do, but I'm at that moment where my befuddled mind is kind of at a loss right now. So, how about you ask a question?
Well, I was thinking avenues for funding.
uh,
Um, I mean, I know Bonfire's a great platform for fundraising. Um, but
yeah,
have
there's
you?
some to steer clear of. Yeah, definitely. But
Hmm.
Yeah, and have you ever considered us? I know that your channel currently is not monetized, but
No.
you could still set up a Patreon or a Ko-fi or a bonfire. Um, but there has to be
Well,
there,
the things are out there, the mechanisms there. We have books, and so forth. And I
but there
think,
has to, it's like with books as with YouTube videos and everything. There has to be something driving the
Right.
traffic there,
Right.
and
I'm,
that would.
yeah, maybe
I'm the,
earworms
I'm
isn't
the,
big enough to do that yet, but
yeah, I'm the
I
worst. I'm the worst at self promotion, to tell you the truth. I,
most genuine artists are.
Yes.
I rely on other people to do that. That's why I'm not as probably not as successful as I would be. But my wife is really good at it, and she tries and she suggests things. Why don't you do this? Why don't you record that? Why don't you do this? And it's like pulling teeth because it's like I just want to do this right now. So,
Mm,
but if I ever do crowdfunding again, it's going to take somebody actually helming that
Yeah.
rather than me doing it. So we'll see what happens. I'm in my spirit. I'm thinking that the time has come where we're gonna have to do that, explore that again, and get something out there. But and maybe
Yeah.
and maybe today is where things are starting to come
well,
together. With some
yeah,
of the
yeah,
suggestions I had today, it's like wow.
yeah. Spirit will reveal things as they come, but we need to do the effort.
Exactly.
You know.
So, and I know that's where I kind of that's my theme for this year has been is just do it, do
Right.
the hard things,
Hmm.
do the necessary things,
Yeah.
and it's
Hmm.
that's been the theme of this year. So yeah, so
Well,
we're
we'll see what
prepared.
we can do because definitely I need to start reading, and then we can come back in a little bit, and just
That
like we
would be
do
great.
with Star Wars Retold, just keep up with the story and so forth, and have talks about because people enjoy that to talk about books, do
Yes.
some reading,
Hmm.
almost like a book club where we do some reading and then we
Yeah,
talk about it afterwards, and
that would be great.
that that's
Oh,
in that's enjoyable stuff where we can share
Oh,
and
another idea.
something for your anybody who's here. The Kindle version of Dobro the Bottlenecker is now free for today and tomorrow. We did a special book promotion.
get
Ooh.
it, get it,
Ooh.
So get it.
everybody,
Yeah, you did it. Yeah, perfect
every
opportunity. Perfect opportunity for it. So,
yeah, everybody in the chat, get it because this will be something we'll talk about.
yeah, find out where it all began.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, I wish I had answers in regards to funding and promotion, and Lawrence and I are still trying to figure that out. But sir, as our platform grows, so shall yours, because
Mm,
we're all friends
Hmm.
here, and we're all going to help
mm,
each other out. And so,
that's right.
if any one of us discovers the secret sauce and could help each other out with our funding our art, um, yeah,
That would be great.
secrets shall be revealed here.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool beans.
Yes.
All right. Well, so folks get an idea, this is an author that really thinks about his craft. And I'm going to load up another video clip that I have here that demonstrates that. And I know that, Swappers and Praxium really does a lot of thought about his writing so that it makes sense. That's in the Star Wars universe. This is more in, kind of like our world. And so that's different, but nevertheless, you do need to think about things to make them more believable as well as more gripping. So here's a little overview of some of Dobro's fighting techniques.
Uh-huh.
And so we're going to get a taste of this and the thinking that you need to put in to it when you are a good author. So here we go. There's a disclaimer now that may be hard to read for some folks. So, do you want to summarize the disclaimer so we're all
Yeah.
protected here?
Basically, this is for demonstration purposes. Don't try these things at home.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Please take out an expert to show you these things.
Yes, especially on YouTube because there are some sharp objects.
Indeed. Hey, this is Kevin M. Kraft at kevinmcraft.com, where you can go for all things Kevin M. Kraft. Yes, it's me again. If you're familiar with me, you know that about the Dobro the Bottlenecker book series. Dobro's a fictional character that I created. We're about to release, well, we may have released book 3 by the time you see this, I'm not sure. But anyway, he's a pretty singular character, a blind swordsman of the sword. Reminiscent of Zatoichi. But I thought it's interesting, I wanted to do kind of a demonstration of Zatoichi's self-defense and combat styles. Kind of give you a better idea of what he might look like as you're reading the books. Dobro was trained in South Korea by a South Korean martial arts master, Master Beck, who taught Dobro all of his survival skills, his combat skills, including his use of the sword. It doesn't seem very practical at first, to Dobro especially, but it ends up being very significant and very important to his character as we move along. Normally, he would learn Gumdo, which is the Korean way of the sword, way of the true sword. He would normally learn that safely using something like this, which is this is the Japanese bokken, or a wooden sword, for safety reasons, obviously. He would normally use something like this, because you can't cut yourself or anything like that, even though this could be a formidable weapon by itself. But Master Beck is a bit of a sadist and a bit of a realist as well, so he dispensed with that entirely, and basically told them, if you're gonna face assailants with swords, they're not gonna have wooden swords, they're gonna have live blades. So he trained him with what would look like a typical katana, ultimately giving him this, which is a cane sword. Got a seed sucking at. Much like this. All right, his looks a little different, but this is something very similar to what he was given and what he carries with him throughout the book series. You can see it's straight. It is the length of a cane, so he uses it to get around and to lean on and everything, to feel his way around. But inside is a live sword. Stainless steel swords are just like this one. And because Dobro is visually impaired, his fighting system is tailored for that purpose. And it isn't just a matter of weaponry or even hand-to-hand combat. There are other things that are going to come in play as well. And I'll explain some of those briefly, just so you get a better idea of Dobro's character when it comes to these matters. Since he is visually impaired, he's going to rely on his other senses to dictate to him what he needs to do. Primary to his self-defense and combat skills is strike first, strike fast, finish it. Dobro does not want to fight. He wants to dispatch his assailants as quickly and as efficiently as he possibly can, because he's blind.
Yes.
That gives him an automatic, natural disadvantage. And so he's not going to want to fight somebody. He wants to end it quickly for his own sake. All right. So he's doing things that you notice in his character. For instance, if he's coming up against someone else, and there's warning, he talks to them. He talks to them to do 2 things. One is to disarm them, because people can't really fight or concentrate on fighting when they're answering questions or listening to somebody else talk, and they're engaging them, saying things like, "Hey, what's your favorite song? That song that's he's totally knocking them off guard, so they can't concentrate on that. But he's also doing the most important thing. The second thing is he's locating his targets. He uses a type of echolocation. Yes, echolocation like bats. He's using his voice, talking to them, to locate the targets, the people that are around him. And there are those who are visually impaired that actually employ a tactic like this.
Wow.
Echolocation. So he's disarming his targets. He's also marking his targets. So as he's talking, he's getting the range where they are in front of him. He's locating their heads, because they're talking. It's coming from their mouths, right? So he can tell exactly how tall they are and how far away they are. So while he's talking, he's marking his targets, all right? And they don't know it yet until he strikes. And then it's all over usually pretty quickly with Dobro, and that's what he wants. Again, he doesn't want to fight, he wants to survive. He wants to dispatch his assailants as quickly as possible. Okay, a little bit about the sword. Dobro can fight. You know, usually when you see samurai films, they use two hands with their swords. They have their sword in their belt and they use two hands like this. Okay? Dobro doesn't do that. He has developed a way of fighting where he uses just one hand. The strong hand to hold his sword hand. He keeps the hollow part of his cane in his hand. And he uses this for blocking, mostly. He uses his blade for stabbing and slicing. He has to have real strong forearms because it's not easy to wield a sword one-handed. You know, it's much easier to use two. But he uses one hand. So that's important too. So okay, so let's just for an example. Okay, you're an assailant. All right, coming at me. He uses his cane like a regular cane. You know, cane a blind man would use. He sees you. You confront him. He's already in his guarded position like this. All right. He knows what side's the sharp side and what side's the dull side. Okay. All right. So he's got you like this, and he's talking. He's going to strike, not like, well, he could strike like this. Okay, he could draw the sword like that and come across like that. That's not so practical when you want to end something quickly and you want to end it efficiently. So he's going to employ what is called a reverse grip. Instead of like this, he's going to draw his sword like this. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because that's the natural position of his hand when he's using his sword at this point. He starts like this, okay? He goes like this, and he's ready to draw. So if it's another assailant with a sword, as a ninja, for example, that does happen to him sometimes, he is going to draw not overhand, he's going to draw underhand, reverse grip, and he's just going to bring his blade straight through his opponent. Okay? Very efficient. Just one blow. Just like that. All right? No wind up. Okay?
Right.
It's just like that. Okay? And that ends it pretty quickly, really. If he needs to follow up, he can do that and then come around for another strike like that along the back. Over the spine. I know that sounds awfully violent, doesn't it? But that's the way it works. All right. Okay. So that's how he's going to draw his sword. Sometimes he can draw, you know, overhand and you know all that stuff. He can do that. But he can also shorten it. You know, it's a long range weapon anyway. The sword's a long range weapon anyway. But in close quarters, and then if you need a quick attack, it's best to do this. And he can go in any direction like that. It's also called the Zatoichi grip, and that's based off the character Zatoichi. It's a Japanese fictional character. He's the quintessential protagonist, blind swordsman, in a series of movies first, beginning in the 60s and through the 70s, and there was even last one made in '89, and then 2001, I think. And then the last one, Zatoichi the Last, I think came in 2009 or something like that. But it's the longest running movie series and television series, I think in Japanese history, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very popular character. But anyway, it's called the Zatoichi grip, but it's really called the reverse grip because you also find it in a lot of ninja movies made popular by Shintaro Kinzu. Shokasugi, sorry about that. But he popularized the ninja movie craze of the 80s, and you'll see him employ this grip with his sword a lot. But it's very practical for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's efficient, like I said. Instead of, all this, you're just pulling the blade out, and I put the sword incorrectly, like I should. You're just pulling the blade out, and it's all one swift move instead of two. It also undercuts your opponent, especially if he has a sword, and because he's going to employ an overhead strike, you've already cut under him, and very quick, very efficient. Okay, so that's why Dobro uses that. Give you a small demonstration. I'll do this slow. I don't want to do it too fast. Let's say that you're an assailant. There's an assailant to my left, my right, and behind me. One way Dobro might start the attack, and it would be an attack, not so much a defense, is, he's talking to him, he's identified his, hey, how you doing, man? What's your name? How tall are you, right? What are you, he's identified his marks, all right, with echolocation. He's going to strike the talker first, whoever's addressing him, the leader of the attackers. He'll attack them first. You notice in a lot of movies how the hero always dispatches all the lackeys first, the thugs, and then the main bad guy last. That's more for dramatic purposes, I guess. Never made sense to me. I always thought, get rid of the main bad guy first.
Yeah, that's probably for dramatic effect. Oh, what the heck?
Oh, Mister. Oh.
I just wanted to pause to talk about that. Oh, I shouldn't have done anything because I know everything I do goes wrong tonight. Are we still there? But that's for dramatic effect. They want to build up to the high stakes battle later.
Yep.
But anyway, that was not worth saying because
the blind man would use. He sees you. You confront him. He's already drawn.
Right about here.
If it's another assailant with a sword,
no, I think it's further.
Okay.
Still further.
Yeah.
Further. You just pulling the blade out, and it's all one.
Okay. Yeah, we did that.
To him and talk to him, and at a specific point, maybe in the middle of a song, he'll strike you first. All right. He'll go behind him, stab behind him. If this guy's already attacking, he'll block that, go to this guy, and then again, this guy again. And if he has to do follow-up, he can do that as well, okay? And he can do that with kicks, punches, throws, other sword strikes, okay? Right. So it might look something like this, doing it a little faster. All right? Strike you first, behind, bam.
Nice.
All right? He could also, if he chose to, he could get that guy behind him first, right? Stab, bam, 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 okay? Or block, and then, come around this way like that. So he's already marking his targets and planning his attack as he's talking to these guys and, bullcrapping them, whatever he's saying, just to get them off guard. But that's how Dobro fights. He employs also hand-to-hand combat techniques. Most of his strikes are going to involve long-range attacks like kicks to keep his opponents away from him because he doesn't want to be grabbed. Right. That puts him at a disadvantage. He can deal with it, but he'd rather keep his targets away from him. Don't let him grab you is something his master used to tell him. Don't let him touch you. So that's how Dobro fights with a cane like this, and so you can see how it's pretty efficient. And then when he's done, he just simply puts his blade back in his sword and taps off. So pretty stylish. It's entertaining to see him set up his attackers, and they don't know that that they've sealed their fate by just confronting him. But that's how it works with Dobro the Bottlenecker. So there you go. That's the cane sword. That's Dobro's fighting method, and you can read all about it in the Dobro novels. All right. So thank you very much. Again, I'm Kevin M. Kraft at kevinmcraft.com. Check out my website for all things Kevin M. Kraft. Grace and peace to you.
Awesome.
All
Love
right.
it. Love it.
I was in another tab doing my thing, so I'll let that go. And then we switch back like that. All right. So that's some thinking. Yeah, it's not meant to be choreography. It's meant to be an actual fight. So obviously that would take some people off guard using unconventional techniques. And yeah.
Yep.
Realistic self-defense techniques.
Yeah. I hope.
Well, I mean, usually when the hero, as you say, they do things that are not practical for dramatic effect, but I like that you actually took a practical approach to the martial arts of this character, and it's something It's interesting that I used to do martial arts. One thing that my dad, who was my first martial arts teacher, says, don't let them grab you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're not, and he put me with bigger opponents. Like, you're not here to show off any moves or
Mm-hmm.
this and that. Be very practical with your fighting, very direct. And it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, I could hear my dad in the master there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, a very unique approach to writing the protagonist who is a fighter. So,
Thank you.
very cool.
Thanks.
I'm typing some stuff in for the book, so
Yeah,
people.
links,
Yeah,
links.
Yeah.
well, I did that in the chat. Now I'm doing it on X, so we can
Okay,
hopefully get more
Great.
people
Thank you.
notified.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love readers.
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
I think Mike said that he got the book.
Yep.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
He had to leave, but yeah, Mike got the book.
Nice.
And yes.
I'm really surprised. One of the things that surprised me about Dobro was, uh, you read the back of the book or you see the cover and you think it's just an action book that only men would like. Most of my readers are women.
Hmm.
They're
Hmm.
not,
Interesting.
and I think it's because I can write the emotion well. I can write from the characters' feelings and emotions and really make them sympathetic, and
Yes.
and everything. I think that has a lot to do with it, And so yeah, and that could just be too that there are a lot more women readers than there are male readers. Maybe I don't know, but a lot of readers tend to be women. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and musical theater goers.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it's an aspect
We,
I'm going to explore definitely.
cool beans.
well, especially for people that like blues. I mean, they may not normally be into musical theater, but if you change the genre of the music and it's blues, then people could be into it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's blues, and this is going to be an incredible production. There's blues, incredible singing, because I know there's going to be incredible orchestration, because I know you do that well, and
Thank you.
incredible martial arts.
Yeah,
Wow,
I am.
it's gonna be
I
such a
know. I can't wait.
yeah.
So, how about we, before we explore what you're planning in the future, other than the musical, we talk a little bit about Riverhorse.
Oh,
Yes.
Riverhorse. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Riverhorse is a script that I wrote and entered into the all genre screenplay contest of this year. Um, and Riverhorse was interesting. I had written a few scripts by the time I got to Riverhorse, but I remember doing a deep dive into hippopotami and
Mm.
learning that they're among the most savage creatures on Earth. And
Dangerous.
it's like I was surprised at how many people are killed by hippos each year. And you wouldn't think about that because you think, you see children's cartoons, hippos are always
Right.
gentle creatures, Henrietta Hippo,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And it's like, but they're very, very dangerous and they're easily provoked, you
Yeah.
know. So I'm like, well, and I thought nobody has ever done, a movie about a killer hippo, quite frankly.
Right.
No,
You
just
know,
it goes back to ancient Egypt. The pharaoh Menes was carried off by a hippo,
Yeah.
oh,
It
no,
was.
I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Really?
and he had a second name. Do you remember that, Liza? The Greek name was Menes, but
Namer.
Namer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
wow.
Narmer. Yeah.
Oh,
He was killed by a hippo. Yes.
wow, I didn't know that. I have to look at that story. But I thought nobody's did a movie about a killer hippo, and I thought, well, how would I tackle something like that? I've seen killer creature movies all my life. From Jaws to killer dogs, killer ants, killer every but I've never seen a killer hippo movie. And so I
Hmm.
decided to write one. But I didn't want it to just be a creature feature. I wanted it to have some real depth and even some spiritual significance to it and be profound in that way. And I came up with Riverhorse. My sister was a missionary or had been a missionary in Africa at the time, and so that kind of inspired me. It's like Africa, well, that's where hippos are, right?
Hmm.
That's yeah. And I just wrote it. I don't even remember how I came up with the story. I just started writing, I think, and it just came out. But it did pretty well. I submitted it to a couple of screenplay contests, and it did really well with the Wild Sound contest. As a matter of fact, one of the judges of that wrote me a personal email and said and saying we had your script and another script that we were deciding to win the prize, and it was hard to decide, but ultimately I lost and the
Oh,
decision, and they chose the other script. But she thought it was a great script, and I'd like to see that one made too. Actually, that's a one I'd like to see made
But
in.
right now, it is a book on Amazon.
Yep, it's on Amazon. It is on Amazon now, so everybody can get it. Yeah, the contest itself is over, but the book is still available. So
awesome.
if you want to read the screenplay to that, that's good. And I'll say a thing about screenplays too. A lot of people don't think about reading screenplays to films. They can be just as engaging as novels. It's a different because screenplays are more real time because they're films. Scripts are like one page equals 1 minute of a film. You know,
Hmm.
and it's written in present tense and everything, but they can be just as engaging. I started reading scripts and I was like, man, why did I, it's like, well, why didn't I discover this, sooner? It's like they're really fun.
Wow.
They're great stories. They're reading in that format. So if anybody has any misgivings about reading a screenplay, I suggest give it a try. I think you'll like it. I know I love it. I
Did
love
you take out? I mean, do you leave in like the bracketed sections about like the setting and?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yep. So, but they're a lot of fun to read, especially a good script can be read as well as a good novel, at least be as engaging. And so, yeah, that's how I learned how to write. Just by reading scripts.
Wow.
What makes a good script and what makes a bad script. And won a few
Hey,
awards, so I think I know something about it.
you know, it
Oh, what
thinking,
awards did you win?
yeah.
Oh, I won. Let's see. Um, I've won the Barris Hewitt Award. This is way back. This is several years ago, at least. Barris Hewitt Award, the Hollywood Screenplay Award, the First 10 Screenplay Award. Oh, what else? There's been a few. There's at least a couple of others that I won, and that's straight out from starting to write scripts.
Mm.
I think that was a script that I wrote. In Worlder that we tried to get produced and never got off the ground. Momo, which we're working on now.
Yeah, I just looked
Mm.
at it now. I see there's
Yeah.
Momo, an
Momo.
inspirational thriller.
Yeah, yeah. So and that's won a few awards by itself, and
Wow.
it's won some novel some books for some awards for the novel itself. So both the screenplay and the novel that have been award winners.
Wow, sir, you are so prolific. It's incredible. You get all of this done. Wow.
Thanks. I'm not prolific as I like to be, but I do okay.
More than okay, my
Yeah.
friend. More than okay.
Thank you.
Just brainstorming here, fundraising for that musical or other things. Have you ever considered doing a paid seminar on how to write screenplays? Because I know that's something that our audience might be interested in. That.
I have not. I have done seminars about novel writing, but not screenplays. So
Hmm.
that'd be something that I'd be interested in, actually. Yeah.
There you go. And I mean, if you don't do it, there are ways to do it on YouTube, but then there's um many platforms where you can produce, have people attend a paid
Mm.
stream.
Yeah.
Now there's two Momos here, and Amazon's not really describing what the difference is. I know one's paperback.
Hmm.
Um, what different formats does it
Uh,
exist in?
just in paperback and Kindle.
Because
So
I see one that has like a reddish cover with a black
mhm.
background, uh, and the other one has a different cover. But they're both Kevin M. Kraft.
Yeah, they're both the same book. I'm not sure why at this point why there's a difference in the two of them. I'll have to look at that.
Okay.
It might be a change that didn't make it over to the other one platform or another yet. But
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
that's possible.
But it's the same, you know,
Yep, same book.
and it's a book, or is it a screenplay?
It's a book. It's a
Okay.
novel, a short novel. Yeah,
All right. Just wanted to make sure that people know.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's
And has-
another fundraising idea from Robot. Can we do a raffle for autographed novels?
Oh wow,
There you go.
great. Yeah, I'm not sure
Ideas.
how to do that, but that'd be great.
The W3 crew that's you.
Yeah. That's
Why,
me.
why aren't you telling us all these books?
Well, I did mention W3 Crew, but I don't think, I don't
Oh
think,
yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of quick, so I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
say.
I don't think that one's in print anymore. You can maybe able to find some copies of it somewhere, but I'm going to re-release that. I think this year or next. We got to figure out a timeline. But yeah,
Yeah, because case number 2 is available, but maybe case number 1 may not be. So,
yeah. So yeah, W3 Cruise.
so yeah, you might want to search for Kevin M. Kraft, the name, on Amazon to see.
There you
all
go. There you go.
these. Okay, great. So, tell us what's coming up in the future. Like, what are you focused on right now?
Well, right now, I'm focused on getting the fourth Dobro book out for certain.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting that out finally. That was probably the hardest of the 4 books to write for a number of reasons. One, because it could have gone on any number of different directions for this particular book. And so I make the mistake of consulting other people like my wife and
Oh no!
about what I should do. And of
What do
course,
you think could happen here?
of course, she has an opinion because it's like I always think that I know best, but then she comes up with an idea. And it's like, oh, that really is a better idea. So yeah, but this took a long time getting out because so many things happened to delay it. These small disasters kept taking place, and somebody would get sick or injured or something would happen. And it's like plans were always get thwarted. We've been working on the 4th book for like 2 years, trying to get it
Wow.
out, and it's like something always comes up. Well, we finally got it written. Um,
Awesome.
and so now it's just a matter of timing, when to get it out. So my wife's looking at it one more time, and I should get it out within the next. We're thinking the next 2 or 3 months, finally.
Ooh.
So yeah, so it's pretty. I'm excited about it because it does resolve some things that have been building up in the first 3 books. And my son, one of my sons has been my first reader, and gives me all the initial feedback on it and everything. He says that this is one of his favorites, his favorite book of all the series. So
Cool.
and I knew when I wrote it, I thought this is special. This is good. So they're all good, but this is I think people are going to really love, especially those who have followed the series, are really going to love how this ties everything together. So.
All right. I'm looking forward to getting immersed.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yes.
All right. So anyway, sorry, I'm typing here, but I'm trying to promote you while doing this.
Oh,
All right. So, so anyway, any more final questions from our chat or Liza?
Oh,
okay, go ahead.
the chat is in awe of all your work, Kevin.
Thanks.
Robot here. Major production, not a lot of elaborate staging, just pure expression. I guess this is reference to your future
Recommendations.
musical.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And let's see. Oh, Scott's been putting up your Amazon links. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, anyone
And-
watching after the fact will be able to grab, especially if it's on Monday, grab Dobro while it's free. If not, I mean, it's not that expensive, folks. You do Kindle, especially, it's not that expensive. And, since I'm on Audible and have the point system, I mean, I just yeah, I can't keep up with them. I'm not reading often enough that I can, so I accumulate points. And so,
Hmm.
the Dobro 1 and 2 are on Audible.
There you go.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Something that I think I mentioned on your show, Liza, is that I am working on. I mentioned it earlier in this one. I am working on, and well, I think it's going to be an EP, but it may end up being a full length CD type deal
Hmm.
of songs that are either inspired by or written by or have something to do with the dobro or the themes in the books. Uh,
Hmm.
Obviously, Kinder Eyes is going to be on there. The Love of the Father is going to be there. Escape and some other songs that you haven't heard yet
Ooh,
are going to be on that. It'll include a full orchestration and everything. Thanks.
nice.
And I'm looking forward to working on that and hopefully getting that out by the end of the year. So.
Well, I
Great.
look forward to listening to that. Oh my gosh, and we have to have you back on the show to discuss the album.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
great. That would
Yep.
be
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Robot's asking, can I friend you on Facebook?
absolutely yes. Go to the Kevin M. Craft page, but you can also find me. You can do my personal page if you want. Kevin M. Craft, I think.
Scott has a link up there to your author page. There we
There we
go.
go. Cool.
Yeah, Robot, also known as Melanie, and Scott are regulars every week here. So
Oh, cool. Well,
Yes.
thanks for
yeah,
joining. Thanks for
yeah,
coming.
you're part of the family now.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
For sure. It's official.
Yeah, great.
All right. So I guess we'll be calling it an evening unless there's anything more from Liza or the chat.
Well, I'm just looking forward to getting immersed into these stories and
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah, we could probably listen to it tonight when we go to
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I am like you, Kevin. I need some sound or something happening
but
while
it
I'm
might
in
keep you
bed.
up,
Yeah.
with when your interest is
It might,
peaked, you will have to pause it.
yeah, fair warning. It might it might keep you up. You have to keep going.
Well,
Keep
that's
going.
all right. That's all right, and it's something for me to listen to in the workshop. Yeah, I got a sound system set up in there, so
Oh, great,
yes.
great. Oh, thank you. I'm honored, and I hope you enjoy it. I really do.
Yep.
Oh, I know I
All right.
will. And oh my gosh, when you want to come in to do a progress report about the musical, oh my gosh, we got to do
All
that.
right. I look forward to the next time.
Cool.
All righty then. So anyway, folks, please check that out. I mean, definitely use the name if you're having trouble finding some things. I had no trouble on Amazon. I had no trouble, definitely on YouTube. Do you keep your YouTube updated? Like maybe just putting out shorts or something to keep people updated about what you're doing and everything?
Not as much as I should.
There you go.
Ooh,
Well, it's
YouTube
easier now.
Shorts.
You could just
Yes.
do the cell phone and just like talk and then boom,
Yeah,
post it.
I know that the kids and kids tell me I need to do that
Oh yeah.
more. I'm just
Yeah.
awful with that kind of stuff. I really
Oh,
am.
the kids will probably get you on TikTok.
Yeah,
Oh
probably.
no, but don't go on TikTok. YouTube is better. Let me tell you. Okay, for all creatives, all creative people out there that are trying to build an audience, YouTube is the platform because your catalog doesn't expire on YouTube,
Oh,
and it's the number 2 search engine on the planet.
that's
And
true.
AI loves to scan YouTube for information. So if um, shorts are great for reaching wide audiences, and then long form videos are great for audience retention and
No,
stuff.
no,
So it's just
you said wide, right?
yes, wide.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
The
shorts.
second there, it sounded like white audience. I was like, well,
Yeah,
I
YouTube
don't know
short.
why you need to be exclusive on that, but
No, but you're right because my kids are saying I gotta do more shorts. I got to do that, and I'm like, so yeah. I look forward to more content. The pressure. We look forward to more content on my YouTube channel coming up. Doing that with more frequency this year. So yeah.
Cool,
awesome.
cool,
Alrighty
cool.
then. Then I guess we're gonna call it a night, folks.
Right.
Next week, I'm gonna have to check with Mike this week. It'll be either myself or Mike. If Mike is ready to release some new things and we get his login all sorted out. I mean, he was able to log in. It's just for some reason he wasn't seeing us. But if we
Yeah,
get that
yeah.
sorted out, we'll check with him. But otherwise, next week, I am going to maybe be a little crafty myself. I'd like to show some electronic music stuff. I might just do it on the subharmonicon from Moog. Uh,
Ooh.
force myself to really get good at that thing because it's something I need to, work with a bit more. Or some VCV rack. I will basically do something musical that I could maybe tie in. Maybe I could try and figure out some Star Trek sounds or something, to keep
Ooh,
robot
yes.
interested and all that.
That'll be
But
interesting.
yeah, but in any way, folks, let us call it an evening. And that means I'm going to clear the stage here so we can play our outro.
All right.
Good night, Kevin.
Good night. Thanks for having me on.
Yes. And there we go. And here we are. Oops. Whoops.
Oop.